All of my friends and acquaintances want to be a success. But who defines success? According to Christ, success is discovering God's purposes for you and fulfilling them. God created you for a purpose, and that purpose is to love God with your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Why do you work? I hope there's more to your work than simply making money. It's good to make money. It's good to make as much money as you can. But hopefully there's more to your work than simply making money. Hopefully you're providing a product or a service to help people better their lives. For you and I were put on this earth by God for a purpose. And success is understanding that purpose and living it out. Also, Christ describes success as being able to hear from Him one day, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That is success. Taking your life and being faithful in using all of your talents, all of your power, all of your skills, all of your abilities, all of your time to serve Christ by serving people, to love God and to love people. And then when Christ returns one day in power and great glory, when there's a day of judgment, He promised that He will look into the faces of those who've trusted in Him and therefore lived faithful lives and say to them, "Well done, good and faithful servant." You can be a faithful servant as a student, an athlete, an artist, a musician, a homemaker, a street cleaner, a garbage man, a doctor, a lawyer, a CEO, a carpenter, a plumber. That does not matter what your occupation is. The issue is, are you doing it with integrity? Are you doing it with compassion? Are you doing it to honor God and to honor people? To better the lives of people? That's real success. You and I long for success. We long to satisfy the deep hunger for purpose, meaning, and significance. A ditch digger once said, "I dig ditches to earn money. I earn money to buy food. I buy food to eat it to gain more strength to dig more ditches. I dig ditches to earn money. I earn money to buy food. I buy food to eat it to gain more strength to dig more ditches." And that's all life is, a stupid, meaningless cycle. Don't get trapped in that cycle, Jesus says. Instead, hold on to the purpose, the meaning of life that God gave you. Hold on to the significance that you have, for you are created in the image, in the likeness of God. Which means you've got a rational mind, you've got a conscience, you've got the ability to love, you've got the ability to work, to have a career, to provide a good product, to provide a good service, to better people's lives. Use that faithfully. Realize the purpose for which God made you. And success comes from accepting God's goal for our lives, and by His grace, becoming what He created us to be. Now that's hard for me as a human being. I like to be in control. I can handle this, thank you, is what I've learned since I was a little child. And yes, there obviously is a place for learning to handle life. But if I become totally deluded, I will begin to think that I'm the one who ultimately handles everything. What a fantasy. I don't even determine the day of my own death. I don't determine what happens after death. I don't determine whether life has an intrinsic value or not. That's God. And I don't determine what's absolutely right and absolutely wrong. That flows from a moral lawmaker, God. The challenge for me is to accept God's goal for my life, and by His grace, with His help, to become the person He created me to be. That is success. The Apostle Paul was shipwrecked. He was whipped. He was beaten. He was imprisoned. He was stoned. But he realized that as long as he was doing the will of God, it did not matter whether people praised him or criticized him. As long as he was doing the will of God, he was a success. That's not easy, is it? It's far too easy for you and for me as human beings to buy the lie that success is having a lot of praise from people. No, real success is living your life in such a way that you experience the pleasure of God. And that's why Eric Liddell, in that great movie years ago, Chariots of Fire, said it so magnificently when he said, "When I run, I feel God's pleasure." That's good. Eric Liddell ran for the glory of God, which means he ran as a way of acknowledging God has given me abilities and talents, and I am using what he has given me to honor him, to glorify him, by being a person of compassion, a person of faith, a person of integrity, a person committed to justice and helping hurting people. You see, friends, that's real success. Are you living a successful life as Jesus defines success? It begins by putting your faith in him, and then, as a result of trusting in him, living out the purpose, the meaning of your life. It's really a life defined by God's will and allowing God's grace to motivate me to live my life, to honor and glorify him. And that, friends, is a truly successful, truly fulfilling life as God created you and me to enjoy it. Trust in Christ. Put your faith in him. That's by far the most important decision a person can make.